Our story's hero was once the strongest sage in the world, the man who single-handedly saved all of humanity from the monstrous hordes and their terrifying king. But after the fierce battle, his strength gave out and he collapsed. The great sage died that day, or so it seemed. Fate, however, had other plans for him. 50 years later, he opens his eyes again. He can't believe he's still alive. After all, he had used up every last drop of his magic. When he looks in the mirror, he's stunned to see a completely different face staring back. Just then, a doctor and a nurse walk into the room. The nurse calls him Kusanagi, which leaves him even more confused. The doctor begins checking his injuries. As he unwraps the bandages, his eyes widen in disbelief. The boy's wounds have completely healed overnight. That's impossible, the doctor mutters. No one recovers this fast unless it's holy magic. Kusanagi calmly explains, my body automatically heals itself with holy magic. The doctor and nurse exchange puzzled glances. Then, to their astonishment, Kusanagi says he was fighting monsters during the calamity. The doctor, trying to make sense of it, asks for his name and the current year. Asumu answers, it's 1970. The doctor sighs softly and says, you must be confused. Your real name is Kusanagi Minato, and the year is 2022. Kusanagi falls silent. Looking around the room, he notices the slim television and the strange flat device in the nurse's hand, a modern phone. It hits him. This is the future. The doctor explains that the calamity happened 50 years ago. The monsters vanished, and the world has since lived in peace. Relieved, Kusanagi thanks the gods that humanity finally achieved true peace. Then the doctor mentions something startling. Ichami Asumu, the hero you mentioned. He died 50 years ago in the calamity while saving the world. The realization strikes him. He truly has been reincarnated, and without any reincarnation spell. A week later, when Kusanagi returns to his apartment, he learns the details of his new life. His parents died when he was young. His foster parents abandoned him, sending him off to a poor boarding school. Since then, he's survived only on the small inheritance left to him. He wonders, in my time, reincarnation magic didn't even exist. So how did this happen? Is this truly the work of a god? Among Kusanagi's belongings, he finds a Magic Academy card. Such institutions never existed in his old era. It's all new to him. Just then, his phone starts ringing. The screen flashes the name Kadeno. Confused, he ignores it and tosses the phone aside, but it keeps ringing. Until finally, a message pops up on the screen. The message says that they know our boy has been discharged from the hospital, and they tell Kusanagi to return to school quickly because they are running low on money. The next day, our boy reaches the Magic Academy. As soon as he steps inside the school, he looks around and finds the feeling of going to school again quite exciting. He feels like an adult in a student's body. However, he suddenly sees a student performing a magic attack on a dummy doll, and Kusanagi immediately becomes disappointed by the sight. He wonders why everyone is so weak. After observing a few more students, he becomes convinced that these people are truly very weak. He can hardly believe it. In his time, even the raw beginners were 10 times stronger than this. He doubts if these people will ever become real magicians, and even though this is a peaceful era, he cannot understand how magic has fallen so low. Kusanagi goes to his classroom and looks for his seat. He is excited about his new student life and wonders if he has any friends in his class. Suddenly, a boy with red hair enters with 2 other kids. He angrily asks Kusanagi why he ignored his messages. Since our hero doesn't recognize him, he politely asks for his name. Furious, Tadano kicks the table and states his name again. He insults Kusanagi by calling him weak and trash. However, Kusanagi doesn't take him seriously. He suddenly remembers that this was the same boy who was calling him earlier. He assumes that Tadano must be his friend. Tadano extends his hand with a cunning smile and asks for money. Kusanagi mistakenly thinks he is a good friend, so he shakes his hand, happy that they might get along well. But Tadano suddenly grabs his collar in anger and demands money again. He tries to intimidate him because he thinks Kusanagi has plenty of money from his parents' inheritance. Kusanagi finally understands the truth of the previous. Kusanagi used to be bullied. Tadano is just about to throw a punch to humiliate him when a beautiful girl with blue hair enters the room. She says, "Good morning" to everyone, and the moment Tadano sees her smile, he calms down. He lets go of Kusanagi but warns him that he wants the money later. Kusanagi feels troubled, but Tadano finally leaves the room. Class begins and the teacher starts explaining the Great Calamity, also known as the Final Calamity. 50 years ago, monsters appeared all over the world and humanity was breaking down due to fear. However, the great Ichimi Asumu did not give up and wiped out all the monsters single-handedly. Finally, he faced the demon god, known as the Calamity Boss, and defeated him at the cost of his own life. life. Since that day, the calamity never returned. The teacher asks the students about the Great Sage. The blue-haired girl from earlier raises her hand. Her name is Mizuha. Mizuha explains that Ichami was the world's greatest sage and the first magician to survive the first calamity. This academy was built because of him. Her eyes shine as she describes Ichami as a hero of humanity and an idol for magicians worldwide. The teacher confirms this, stating Ichami was the first human to learn the correct use of magic and save the world. He is the strongest magician in human history, and the teacher advises everyone to study him well because there is a test tomorrow. The protagonist feels embarrassed hearing all of this praise. He never expected that hearing such high respect for himself would feel like torture, and he starts to regret coming to the academy. He remembers the doctor's words and thinks that perhaps because the world became peaceful, everyone's magic became so weak. He looks out the window and smiles. He is starting to like this peaceful life. At the end of the lesson, the teacher announces that there will be a magic power assessment exam tomorrow. After class, Tadano approaches Kusanagi again and asks if he heard the teacher. He is excited, saying it will be fun to see Kusanagi's dog-level magic in tomorrow's test. Our hero wonders why this boy won't just be quiet. As Kusanagi leaves the classroom, Tadano shouts after him that his biological parents had no magic power either and begins laughing while calling him an orphan. This time, Kusanagi does not stay silent. He turns around and replies. Tadano becomes furious, loses his patience, and activates fire-type magic. All the children in the class are stunned. One student asks if he is actually going to use a spell in the classroom. In a rage, Tadano throws a fire spell, fully hoping Kusanagi will die. Mizuha rushes forward to stop him, but it is too late. The fire blast speeds toward Kusanagi, but our hero stands his ground without moving an inch. The blast hits him directly. The other students back away in fear. Mizuha angrily asks Tadano why he used such a dangerous spell in a petty fight, as she doesn't want anyone to get hurt. Instead of admitting his mistake, Tadano blames Kusanagi. Everyone thinks Kusanagi must be badly injured, but as the smoke clears, he emerges completely fine. Everyone is shocked. He says he was just caught off guard. Tadano is terrified, wondering how he is still alive. Kusanagi knows he can block level 1 magic with his basic barrier without using any power. He was only enduring the insults because Tadano is just a child, but now he feels Tadano needs to be punished. With a cold expression, he walks toward Tadano, who breaks into a sweat. Kusanagi releases his magic, and all the children freeze in place. No one understands what is happening, and even Mizuha watches in fear. Kusanagi reaches out toward Tadano, who is so scared he nearly soils himself. Just then, the teacher enters the room and asks about the noise and if magic was used inside. Kusanagi calmly replies that nothing happened inside and suggests someone might have used magic outside. The teacher remembers there was no magic activity scheduled for the day. Kusanagi suggests someone from another department might be practicing. When asked about the smoke, he gives the same answer, that it must have come from outside. The teacher believes him, tells everyone to take their seats, and goes to find the culprit himself. Kusanagi smiles, apologizes, and thinks about creating fake evidence to end the matter. The whole class, including Mizuha, remains stunned while Tadano stands there gritting his teeth. Kusanagi thinks to himself how weak these students are and that they couldn't even kill a monster. Although the calamity ended 50 years ago, he knows real monsters might still exist somewhere. He decides to check for himself and uses magic circles at night to reach Old Shibuya. This city used to shine in his time, but today it is completely ruined. Seeing no monsters, he assumes the police handled everything, but then he senses the aura of a monster and a human. He rushes there to find a white-haired girl cornered against a wall, crying and begging for her life. Just as the monster is about to eat her, Kusanagi intervenes. With a single attack, the monster screams and dies instantly. Kusanagi sees a police badge on the girl's uniform. He realizes she belongs to the magician police. He advises her to be more careful next time. She says thank you, but right then, he creates a magic circle and vanishes. The girl is left wondering, who was he? How did he kill the monster without a chant? Kusanagi is glad his face remained hidden, as he doesn't want attention yet. After all, he has just been reincarnated. He is surprised that even police magicians have become so weak, and suspects today's generation hasn't truly faced monsters. Looking at the sky, he smiles, thinking perhaps humanity needs his power again. He moves forward to eliminate the remaining monsters in the area. The next day at the academy, the teacher tells everyone to prepare for a magic power assessment. They hope the students' attributes and total power are measured accurately, as it is essential for for becoming a magician. Kusanagi wonders why his power cannot be measured without some strange device. He understands such tools are necessary for students, but he finds it incomprehensible that a teacher doesn't know a basic thing like magical intuition. Meanwhile, Mizwa approaches and asks if it's a good time to talk. Other students take notice, wondering why Mizwa is calling Kusanagi. She introduces herself. I am the second daughter of the prestigious magical house, Mizuha Yuika. Kusanagi doesn't understand what a prestigious house means. Mizwa explains it is one of the 4 major families responsible for leading magicians. Kusanagi fails to recognize her and thinks back to the great houses of his time. Observing her weak magical ability, he wonders how she can be so arrogant about her family despite having such trash power. Mizwa asks him, why are you ignoring me so much? I was expecting you to show some gratitude. Tadano grits his teeth in jealousy, wondering what the two of them are talking about. Kusanagi jokingly asks why a girl from a prestigious magical house is even talking to a low-level boy. Hearing this, Mizwa gets irritated but composes herself to maintain her dignity, feeling that as the daughter of a prestigious family, she must show civility at all costs. Kusanagi speaks up again, asking, do you perhaps have some mental problem? Mizwa suddenly recalls yesterday's magical blast and how Kusanagi was completely unaffected by the power thrown at him. She wants to mention this, but at that exact moment, the teacher interrupts and orders everyone to get ready for the assessment. Kusanagi smiles and takes the opportunity to slip away. Mizwa resolves in her heart that the real truth will be revealed during the test. Tadano steps forward to release his power, and his magic score comes out to be 1,000. He jumps with joy as if he has achieved a massive feat. Kusanagi thinks to himself that humans are pretty much the same as they were in his time. Then Mizwa steps forward. Her power level comes out to be 2,000. The class goes into an uproar and the teacher praises her heavily. Students applaud both her and Tadano as the best. Kusanagi is disappointed and thinks, is this a joke? People consider a weak power like 2,000 to be great. Mizwa stares at him proudly, as if trying to belittle him by showing off her strength. Kusanagi simply cannot understand why they are so arrogant about such weak power. Just then, the teacher calls Kusanagi's name. As he walks forward, he hears students behind him recounting his failures from last year. Despite being the best in academics, Tadano laughs at his magic skills, expecting Kusanagi to be humiliated in front of everyone again. Mizwa thinks Kusanagi might be hiding something, but she doesn't believe he could turn out better than her. Kusanagi gets annoyed, remembering that even in his past life, having his power noticed by people became a hassle. At first, he considers hiding his power, but suddenly changes his mind. Smiling, he thinks, let's see if this machine can handle the true power of the Great Ichami. As soon as he releases his full potential, the machine starts glowing intensely. Suddenly, a beam of light shoots out of the entire building, visible even to students sitting far away. Mizwa is left stunned. The machine begins to shake strangely, and within moments, it explodes with a loud bang. Students run here and there to save themselves. Disappointed, Kusanagi says, oh, I didn't even try properly. He feels that perhaps no one was able to sense his true power. The teacher asks in a panic if everyone is safe. Everyone says they are fine. Then he looks at Kusanagi and says, you were standing in the middle. You were lucky. The teacher suspects the machine malfunctioned. Now he is troubled because it has become impossible to measure Kusanagi's power and attributes, which would make it difficult to split groups for combat training. Finally, the teacher tells Tadano to take Kusanagi into his group. Tadano agrees immediately because this gives him another chance to harass Kusanagi. The teacher breathes a sigh of relief while Tadano approaches Kusanagi smiling wickedly, saying, see you in combat practice. I'm waiting to mess you up. The students reach Old Shibuya, and the teacher explains that some monsters still exist in this city because it was completely destroyed during the Great Destruction. Magicians and police often come here to eliminate the remaining monsters. For some reason, Academy students also have to participate in this task. The teacher assures them not to fear too much, as pro-magicians and police have already dealt with most of the monsters. Our boy Kusanagi wasn't expecting a practical class today. Still, he thinks they might find some monsters that the student teams can try to defeat. He recalls coming here last night and clearing the entire place, so he finds it strange that he still senses the presence of some monsters nearby. He sees no signs of recent destruction or fighting and wonders why new monsters keep coming to Old Shibuya again and again. Meanwhile, some girls are talking about competing with each other. Our boy is surprised to see the students talking so carelessly despite being in a practical class. For some reason, Mizwa is watching Kusanagi very intently. The teacher starts the practical class, hoping everyone will work together. Just then, Tadano sees him, steps forward with his group, and tells Kusanagi to stay put and not interfere with their work. He gives a clear warning that if Kusanagi pulls a stunt like before, he won't spare him. Our boy doesn't understand. If they hate him so much, why don't they just ignore him? Tadano angrily tells him to shut up. Then, irritated, he asks why a girl from a good family like Mizuwa talks to a useless guy like him. Our boy is stunned, and in that moment, he realizes that Tadano likes Mizuwa. Hearing this pointed out, Tadano flares up. At that same moment, our boy suddenly senses something. However, Tadano and his friends try to attack him with magic without listening to him. He warns them to stop, but Tadano says apologies won't work. Kusanagi keeps saying, "Look behind you." Tadano thinks he is trying to pull some stupid trick. Finally, when Tadano looks back, the whole group is stunned. Standing right behind them is a tall monster. Everyone panics, asking how a demon soldier could be present in this desolate city. Tadano's friends encourage him, saying he can defeat it. He tries to show bravery, but fear is clearly visible on his face. He steps forward and attacks it with his fire magic. Magic cannot affect this kind of monster. As the monster advances, the entire group falls to their knees, trembling in fear. Tears fill Tadano's eyes. He thinks his life is about to end right here. He is so terrified that he wets his pants. But just then, the monster stops before killing him because it senses our boy's, Kusanagi's, true power. It starts to retreat. Kusanagi steps forward, surprised that the monster easily recognized who the strongest person there was. He stands in front of it and prepares his magic. The monster responds with full force, creating multiple magic circles. Tadano and his companions cannot believe Kusanagi can defeat it. They accept their impending death. The monster unleashes Rock Break, a level 2 magic, hurling a massive boulder at Kusanagi. However, Kusanagi stands completely calm, smiling. He casts Fire Arrow, a level 1 magic, and throws it at the monster. His fire arrow destroys the massive boulder in an instant and continues forward to hit the monster directly. There is a massive explosion. When the smoke clears, Tadano and his friends open their eyes. The monster is dead. Tadano is shocked and cannot understand how this happened. He wonders if Kusanagi did it, but immediately denies it, thinking it impossible for a guy like Kusanagi to do such a thing. Our boy tells Tadano that if magic is used correctly, even level 1 in basic magic is enough to defeat a demon soldier. Kusanagi finds it strange that such monsters are appearing in Shibuya again, considering he cleared the entire area and killed all the monsters just last night. He feels this might be a bad omen preceding a major catastrophe. He wonders if he should take this situation seriously. Suddenly, memories of the destruction in his past life return. How he watched countless people, even his loved ones, die before his eyes. He feels a bit sad and clenches his fist, but immediately he resolves that no matter what great calamity occurs this time, he will save all of humanity. Meanwhile, the other bullies admit they saw Kusanagi defeat the demon soldier with their own eyes. They are amazed, wondering if this is the same Kusanagi they knew. Tadano punches the wall in frustration. He is angry and simply cannot grasp what is happening. In the meantime, Mizuwa is watching everything from a distance. Surprised to learn more about Kusanagi, Mizuwa uses Aqua Saucer, a level 1 magic, to easily defeat a weak monster. Her companions are amazed and praise her, but she is annoyed that people are so easily impressed. She thinks it's just due to her being a genius. It's no big deal. Suddenly, she spots Tadano's group. Mizuwa tells her group to handle the remaining monsters and leaves. She thinks Tadano might be bullying Kusanagi again and doesn't want to miss the show. She rushes over and peeks from behind a wall, but as soon as she looks, she is stunned. A demon soldier is standing there. She doubts they can face such a monster. Despite her fear, Mizuwa thinks that as a daughter of the Mizuwa family, she must help. She believes she can do something. She runs toward the group, shouting for everyone to flee, but just then, a massive fire attack erupts in front of her and hits the demon soldier directly. Kusanagi has taken down the powerful monster in a single blow. Mizuwa is left shocked, wondering if our boy really did all this. She remembers that Kusanagi used to be a shy boy with weak magic. She cannot believe. At that same Kusanagi, Mizuwa was watching so intently, yet she didn't hear a single chant. She cannot understand how a demon soldier could be defeated using level 1 magic without speaking a chant. It is beyond her comprehension. She knows that a monster's strength is determined by the number of crystals on its body, a ranking system known worldwide. Rank 6, magical beasts. Rank 5, demon soldiers. Rank 4, demon captains. Rank 3, demon generals. Rank 2, demon kings. Rank 1, the demon god, the most powerful. This ranking never changes. Every modern magician knows that at least level 3 magic is required to defeat a demon soldier. She can't believe level 1 magic could be so powerful. As Kusanagi begins walking toward her, she realizes there is no point in hiding and peeks out again. He calls her out for spying on him. Embarrassed, Mizuwa asks how he knew she was there. Our boy thinks that as a magician, it would would be foolish not to know such a thing. Mizuwa becomes more confused, while Kusanagi feels disappointed that people today cannot even sense the presence of magic. He walks away. Mizuwa tries to stop him, running after him for an explanation, but when she reaches the alley, he has vanished. Kusanagi has already reached a rooftop, annoyed that she is trying so hard to find him. He scans for monsters and sees that while the demon soldiers are gone, many magical beasts remain. Given Tadano's useless behavior, he doubts the other students can handle even these beasts. The protagonist thinks, why not kill some magical beasts? As soon as he activates his magic, his entire body starts glowing slightly. Then he brings out 2 magic circles and uses his level 2 magic Barret. Multiple beams of light burst into the sky and all of Shibuya fills with light. Tadano and his group see these rays from afar and think they might be shooting stars. But Mizuwa realizes at first glance that this is magic, and she is shocked that someone can use so many magic abilities at once. In another corner of Shibuya, 2 students are surrounded by magical beasts. They feel escape is impossible. Just as a monster moves forward to kill the girl, it suddenly screams. A powerful beam of Barret falls on it and it drops dead right there. The 2 students ask each other if they are safe. Watching all this from the sky above, our boy feels quite satisfied. He sees that all the monsters are falling to his attacks. Suddenly, he realizes he overdid it. He wiped out almost all the monsters. Kusanagi gets worried. How will the class proceed now? He regrets that he should have held back a little. He flies over the city with the help of magic circles and lands in a deserted alley. He doesn't particularly want to hide his power, but he doesn't like getting this much attention either. He slowly returns to his classmates and teacher. He's shocked when he's presented with the body of a magical beast. How did so many monsters survive? He'd thought the police and magicians had already killed most of them. He thinks someone extremely skilled has eliminated them on such a large scale. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been easy to take down the monster in a single strike. He remembers seeing magic bullets falling from the sky. Shooting that many bullets at the same time can only be null attribute magic. He is amazed because he has never seen such powerful null attribute magic before. He admits that without those magic bullets, the situation would have become very dangerous. Even firing 1 or 2 magic bullets is impressive. Firing more than 6 is impossible for an average student. The students start shouting angrily, asking why they had to fight so many monsters. The teacher bows and apologizes. He says his mistake almost cost them their lives. He explains that he trusted the police report and did not check properly with the school. I am truly sorry for putting you all in danger, he says. A girl asks if someone came to save them. The teacher says he does not know who it was, but he is sure it was not the police or an official mage. It was probably an illegal magician. In his heart, he thanks this unknown person. Hearing this, Kusanagi smiles a little. He feels happy seeing that everyone is safe. Even the bullies are alive, though Tadano looks very angry. The bully group keeps staring at Kusanagi. Mizuwa remembers seeing Kusanagi defeat a demon soldier using only level 1 magic. She also remembers seeing endless magic power. She starts wondering if Kusanagi was behind both events, but she quickly calms herself. Fire and null attributes are different. It is impossible for one student to have 2 attributes. She tells herself that someone else must have used null magic. That's impossible, Tadano says angrily, but another boy reminds him that Kusanagi defeated the demon soldier. Tadano loses control. He shouts at his friend to shut up or he will kill him. Everyone becomes quiet in fear. I will never accept that Kusanagi can do such things. He is hiding something. I will prove he is cheating, Tadano shouts. I will force him to show his real self. After school ends, Kusanagi walks outside. Suddenly, a large group surrounds him. Tadano steps forward. I've been waiting for you, Tadano says. Kusanagi feels annoyed, but speaks calmly. If you put this much effort into learning magic, you would be stronger. Tadano gets furious. You have no right to say that. He yells, you are a cheater yourself. Kusanagi is surprised. He does not understand why Tadano is calling him a cheater, but Tadano keeps insisting that Kusanagi is hiding some kind of cheat or trick. Kusanagi gets tired of listening to their nonsense. He realizes that talking calmly with them is pointless. Tadano tells him to come with them and says sarcastically, you didn't run away. Good. Kusanagi replies calmly, there's no reason for me to run. Tadano doesn't believe him and attacks right away. Since they are in a public park, he knows Kusanagi Kusanagi won't use magic. Tadano's punch hits Kusanagi's face, but Kusanagi doesn't even move. Then the whole group attacks him together. Still, Kusanagi stays calm and does not fight back even once. Tadano mocks him. What happened? Can't do anything without magic. Says he will keep hitting Kusanagi until he falls down, no matter how much he begs. Kusanagi only feels disappointed. Their attacks do nothing to him because his magic power automatically protects his body from physical damage. Feeling annoyed, he pretends to be in pain a little, just to satisfy Tadano. Suddenly, someone shouts from behind, asking why they are hitting Kusanagi. Tadano turns around. It is Mizuwa. He becomes nervous and lies, saying they were just playing around. But Mizuwa doesn't believe him. She clearly tells him that this is bullying and says she is ashamed of him as a classmate. Tadano feels guilty, but he blames Kusanagi instead. Mizuwa then grabs Kusanagi's hand and starts pulling him away. When Tadano sees them holding hands, his jealousy and anger explode. He loses control and tries to attack with powerful magic. Kusanagi gets annoyed. Tadano's followers also activate their magic. Mizuwa asks in shock why they are doing this. Together, the whole group releases a huge fire attack. Mizuwa realizes how dangerous it is and runs to save Kusanagi, but she cannot reach him in time. Kusanagi takes the attack head on. Tadano laughs loudly. He is sure that no one could survive an attack that strong. His followers panic and ask if Kusanagi is dead. Tadano scolds them, saying, "Don't be stupid. The magic just went out of control, and Kusanagi happened to be in the way. That's why he got hurt." Slowly, the smoke begins to clear. Kusanagi speaks angrily. He says he was holding back because, to him, they are just kids. Tadano is shocked. He cannot believe Kusanagi is still alive after such powerful magic attacks. Kusanagi becomes serious and says their biggest mistake was dragging Mizuwa into the fight. He says he cannot understand how someone could sink so low. Tadano screams that everything is Kusanagi's and Mizuwa's fault. He shouts that he will make them regret it today. Tadano creates a large magic circle and orders his entire group to keep attacking until Kusanagi is dead. Kusanagi activates a small magic circle. Seeing this, the whole group starts laughing. They think he is just pretending to be strong. The entire gang attacks together with all their power. Kusanagi calmly activates Magic Drain. Green, tentacle-like shapes come out of the small magic circle and grab everyone in the gang. Everyone panics and tries to escape, but no one can move. Their magic power keeps getting drained. One by one, they fall unconscious. Soon, Tadano and all his followers stop moving completely. Kusanagi lets out a deep sigh. He says he thought they would last a little longer. He hopes they have finally learned their lesson. Mizuwa is totally confused. She feels like she just saw some kind of magic, but she doesn't understand how the entire group suddenly collapsed. Kusanagi calmly stands up and starts walking away. Mizuwa stops him and asks what just happened. She remembers that just a few days ago, he couldn't even cast a weak spell properly. So how does he suddenly have so much power? She keeps asking again and again, "Who are you really?" Kusanagi gets annoyed and says, "Instead of asking strange questions, you should go do something else." Mizuwa's face turns red. Shyly, she thanks him for saving her and asks him once more to answer her questions. But when she turns around, Kusanagi is already gone. She mutters in embarrassment, "He left me alone again." Later that night, Kusanagi returns to Old Shibuya. Using magic circles, he moves quickly from place to place. He has had a strange bad feeling all day, so he came to check what was going on. When he finally reaches the area, he is shocked by what he sees. The same monsters that Kusanagi defeated during the day are appearing again. He feels this is a very bad sign. If the monsters were only in Old Shibuya, he could handle them alone, but now he senses that they are spreading to other places as well. He realizes that the police will not be able to handle this situation. There are very few skilled magicians left. To be honest, even he cannot defeat monsters that are spreading across the entire country by himself. Kusanagi becomes worried. He decides that he must make a proper plan first. For now, his top priority is to clear Old Shibuya quietly, without anyone noticing. He fires magic bullets and destroys several monsters at once. Suddenly, a drunk man walks into the dangerous area by accident. A monster rushes toward him, but before it can attack, Kusanagi kills it instantly. The drunk man briefly sees Kusanagi, but he thinks it is just because of the alcohol. He walks away without thinking much about it. Kusanagi hopes the man will not remember his face. Kusanagi activates a magic circle and jumps into the air, but then someone records him on their phone. The man is shocked and realizes that this video could go viral very fast. Without wasting any time, he uploads it online immediately. The next day, Tadano, Kusanagi, and Mizuwa are called to the principal's office. The class teacher says that magic was used outside school, which is strictly forbidden. She warns them that students who do this will be expelled without mercy. Then she asks them to explain what happened. Tadano immediately blames Kusanagi. He says that Kusanagi came looking for a fight. Kusanagi is shocked by how easily Tadano lies. He realizes that he may have to tell the truth, even though he really does not want to. But before Kusanagi can speak, Mizuwa steps forward. She tells the principal that Tadano is lying. She explains that Tadano and his friends were bullying Kusanagi and that they were the ones who used magic first. The teacher listens carefully. She also notices that Kusanagi did use magic, but she agrees with Mizuwa. She says Kusanagi only acted in self-defense, so it was not his fault. Kusanagi is slightly surprised to hear this. Tadano tries to defend himself again, but Mizuwa stops him. She calls him a troublemaker who bullies others and then blames them for his own actions. She asks him why he is not ashamed. In anger, he says he was only clearing the trash. Mizuwa immediately replies that the real trash is Tadano and that he does not deserve to be in the academy at all. Still full of pride, Tadano says he is the top student in the class and the only one worthy of standing above others. He claims Kusanagi has no right to compare himself. Mizuwa cannot understand what nonsense he is talking about. Tadano angrily tells her to stop supporting Kusanagi and to open her eyes. Then he crosses the line and says she should become his woman. Mizuwa screams that she would never choose trash like him. Tadano is left speechless. Mizuwa continues angrily. She tells him that his bad personality is the real reason no one likes him. She says dreaming of becoming a professor with such behavior is completely stupid. Kusanagi feels that she is right, though he thinks she was a bit too harsh. Unable to handle the rejection and humiliation, Tadano faints on the spot. In the end, it becomes clear that Tadano and his friends were at fault. Kusanagi only used magic to protect himself. The principal speaks coldly. He says the academy has no need for students who misuse magic to harm others. Tadano and his entire group are expelled immediately. Some of Tadano's followers try to beg for forgiveness, saying they were only following his orders, but the decision does not change. The teacher allows Kusanagi and Mizuwa to return to class. Outside the principal's office, Mizuwa says angrily that Tadano is the most pathetic person she has ever seen. Kusanagi asks what happens to students after they are expelled. Mizuwa explains that expelled students can never become magicians, especially after something like this. She turns back to Kusanagi and asks, "Why didn't you defend yourself? You didn't say even one word for yourself." Kusanagi replies casually, "I was about to speak, but you didn't give me a chance." Suddenly, he remembers something. Mizuha notices and asks, "What's wrong?" Without thinking much, Kusanagi says, "I was just remembering how many times you've helped me. First in class, when I got into trouble, and then today in front of the principal. You're really a good person. You always help me." Hearing this, Mizuha's face turns bright red. She starts blushing hard and lowers her eyes shyly, unable to look at him. So friends, if you want to watch the next part of this manhwa, please let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.